All right, guys, we're back here on Southeastern 16 previewing Duke and Arkansas, the Thanksgiving clash between these two. Max Barr. Going to be an outstanding Thanksgiving feast as these two will tip it off, as we know, on Thursday night there at the United Center in Chicago. And of course, we are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. We'll talk about any interesting sort of numbers for these two teams here in just a second. Before we do, of course, check out our friends at GameTime Sidekicks, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, every SEC school, over 350 more universities as well. Duke fans, get your cups and enjoy your beverages over there. Stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, shaker cups. They got it all. Check it out over at our friends at GameTime Sidekicks. Use the code for a nice little discount, SE16 for 20% off over at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Like we said, this thing will tip off 7 p.m. Central on CBS United Center, Chicago, Thanksgiving night. It doesn't get much better than this, Max Barr.
Blake, this is the one we've been waiting for. We've had this one circled for a long time, a long time. We were talking about this game months ago. We did our way too early preview on it. It doesn't get much better than John Calipari against John Shire. Thanksgiving, get your turkey, get your sides in, get your casserole, and then get on the couch for some high quality hoops. Look ahead line that we don't have right now. We don't have an official line, but look ahead line is going to be either 9.5 or 8.5. Ken Palm and the analytics have this about a 10-point win for Duke, and I think the betting line is going to be just in the single digits, right underneath. Probably 8.5, 9.5 is going to be your opening line here, Blake. And it's not too surprising, as Arkansas has had a few hiccups here, and Duke, well, I guess you could call them a machine again.
Yeah, Arkansas is, like we said, I mean, they've been, consistency's not probably been their strength so far. We talked about it. Yes, they've had some very good performances against, teams like Southern, Jackson State, Central Arkansas, had some close calls against Samford and Winthrop at home. Those were games that, Arkansas had to make big plays down the stretch to win. They didn't do that at Michigan State, but only a 3-point loss against a really good Michigan State team in a true road game. So I don't know if you're an Arkansas fan that you're completely just upset at the way things have gone thus far, because you can see the upside. And I think it's very clear with these freshmen, Darius Acuff, Meleek Thomas, and what they brought to the table. They are different, and I think that's going to be something in the long term that's really going to help Arkansas. But this is where the schedule really picks up.
Yeah.
It starts here with Duke. Of course, they play Louisville next week as well. They still got Texas Tech. They still got Houston. So this is where I think we really find out what have they learned since that Michigan State game. And if you think about it, one of the things we really harped on in that Michigan State game was shot selection wasn't great. Offensive rebounding from Michigan State was a big theme. They had 19 offensive rebounds, and I think that's where, Max, to me, and we can flip this to Duke, like this game for a lot of people, if you're like, just pick one thing that you're most interested in seeing and how Arkansas can win this game, the Arkansas front court of Trevin Brazile, Nick Pringle, Malik Ewan are going to have to be fantastic to win this game against the Duke team that, as we know, my goodness, look at the size, look at what they bring to the table with Cam Boozer and such. That is priority number one for the Hawks.
Yeah, talking about this Duke front court, when you look at Evan Mia's data, our good friend Evan Mia, and you look at his player ratings so far, only one team, Blake, has two players in the nation's top 10 right now. Well, let me scratch that. Only two players in the nation's top 4. Right now, Duke's Cam Boozer, number 1. Pat Ngogba, the center, number 4 right now. Just incredibly efficient. And you see Blake happy right now because of maybe somebody's fantasy team is doing good. But
thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Pat. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, statistically right now, like efficiency-wise, from that standpoint, the Duke front court has been incredible. And then don't forget Sarr, who's not a I wouldn't call him front court, but 6'8", almost 200 pounds. When you look at the top lineup combinations for Duke, the top 2-man lineup combination, it's when Boozer and Sarr are out there together, gives them that 6'8", at the 3 and you just get taller from there on out. It's the same big size, positional size as last year with this Duke squad, Blake.
All right, we're going to pull up a nice little visual here from our guy Connor over at GA Hoops blog on X. Tremendous stuff. Connor's going to be helping us out with some graphics this season as we do look at some of these games. You can see kind of the breakdown with the numbers between these two. Yes, keep in mind, this was done, we're recording this on Wednesday morning. This was done on Tuesday. There have been games that have been played since. We know that the KenPom numbers, the Torvik numbers, they're all going to bounce back and forth, and the overall national rankings will bounce back and forth as well. So, but these are, hard team numbers here.
Yeah.
And I think, again, Max, when you just sort of look at, what the expectation is going to be with these two teams, what immediately stands out to you when it comes to just the raw data here with the matchup?
It's Duke's 3-point rate. The way that they are scoring offensively against what this Arkansas defense has to offer. When you look at like point distribution and where the teams are scoring, this is a Duke team that's getting the majority of their points from the 3-point line. When you look at Arkansas defensively, they are 58th nationally in opponent points from 3. They got that length, Blake. They Billy Richmond flying around out there. Carter Knox flying around. This might be the most, if you're just talking about pure positional size and versatility on both teams here, this might be one of the, I don't even know the word to categorize it as, but every position on both sides, man, you can switch. Man, you can defend maybe 1 through 4. It's going to be an elite athleticism type of game, and it's going to be on the perimeter for me. That Duke perimeter offense against that Arkansas perimeter defense been the strength of both teams.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the name that I was going to bring up, and that's Carter Knox. We've talked about him so far this season. I mean, it's been a little up and down in terms of the scoring production, but he is he's their second best rebounder right now, just a tiny bit behind Brazile. And we've said, I mean, this is a guy I think that you just look at the upside. Like, I think he's one of the guys that has one of the highest upsides on the team. Of course, outside of, I think, just the 2 freshmen who've been fantastic. Thomas is averaging 18, Acuff's averaging 17. But I think that's where, for me, and you probably do tie in Billy Richmond too. When you look at some of the numbers and you just think about kind of the versatility of those 2 guys, I think they're probably, in terms of just all the things they can do, I think they're the key to the game for Arkansas, because I expect the freshmen just to be like, hey, it's Duke. We're coming out to do what we usually do, and that is rise to the occasion. We've seen Acuff do it. We've seen Thomas do it, which, by the way, Max, let's not forget that Meleek Thomas also on the fantasy team. So I've got some rooting interest there as well. It's going to be a tough game here for the number 1 ranked fantasy team. But I tell you, this is just kind of something where those 2 guys specifically, when it comes to the rebounding, when it comes to defense, and yes, it'd be nice to have some scoring production too, but I think they are the keys to this game for Arkansas. Outside, again, just the obvious front court matchup and the one-on-ones and that kind of stuff. But I think Carter Knox and Billy Richmond, they need big games here in this one.
Oh, big time. And if you look down at the bottom of the graphic, rebounding percentages, this is where Duke probably has, on paper, their largest advantage. If you look at their offensive rebounding numbers, about top 30, top 40 in the country. Arkansas's offensive rebounding outside the top 200 right now. So you do have that angle where if points are going to be hard to come by, right? Duke right now, top 10 analytical defense. They got a ton of size that we've been talking about. If points are hard to come by, and both teams have similar free throw rates, and there's not going to be really one team that's shooting way more free throws than the other, man, this rebounding battle, if Arkansas is going to win, this has got to be an even rebounding battle. If Duke has multiple more offensive rebounds and extra possessions, I don't know if Arkansas is going to be able to manufacture their extra possessions to keep up. That might be the story of the game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, and you wouldn't mind seeing Arkansas get some easy offense here. Duke's done a good job taking care of the ball. Arkansas hasn't turned people over a lot, but I think, again, that's something where when you talk about guys like Richmond and just the guards on the perimeter, we always say the active hands, Max Barr. I think you want to see if Arkansas can get some easy offense out of this one too, because I think that'll be important, just based on kind of the way Duke is going to defend, and just the size that you're going to be dealing with Duke, just kind of across the board. as well. So, all right, are you ready to make our picks? As we said, this is something where we don't have an official line over at FanDuel right now as we're recording this early because, of course, this is on Thanksgiving night. So we're recording this a little bit early, Max, but thoughts here, picks, Duke, Arkansas.
Before I get to picks, because we're about to go to picks, before I get to picks, I wanted to do a little X factor real quick because I think Duke definitely has one in Isaiah Evans with his ability to fill it up from three. He's a game-changing type of player where Arkansas can be up by 6 and then Isaiah Evans shoots 3 shots and Duke is up by 3 now. A game-changing type of player. That's my Duke X factor. Do you have an Arkansas X factor to counter that? Something that, because Isaiah Evans brings something that Arkansas doesn't really have, that high volume 3. Is there anything Arkansas has that they can offer that Duke does not?
I mean, I don't, high volume 3, probably not, but I do also look at this and I'm like, I also wonder, is this like a DJ Wagner type game?
Thank you. There it is.
Because again, we've said it, like, I think in games like this, Cal is going to lean on what he knows, and he has had DJ Wagner in a lot of big games like this before. You go back, he played 31 minutes against Michigan State. Thought he played pretty well, right? 13 points, 3 assists. Like, I thought he was one that, again, you could sort of tell the way that game was going. He's like, all right, maybe we need DJ Wagner on the floor a little bit more. Now, I don't think you really judge some of the numbers in the past couple games. Like, he only played 18 minutes against Winthrop and all that. But I could absolutely see this being the kind of game where it's like, hey, it's Duke. It's on a big stage. If you have, let's say, 1 or 2 of those underclassmen come out, maybe a little bit shaky on the shot or, not playing as well, then I think we may look up and be like, all right, this may be one of those games. And we've seen it in the past where DJ Wagner may just have to kind of do his thing, and he may need to have a huge game. So, like you said, I'm not going to compare him to Isaiah Evans because I don't think he's going to fill it up from 3 by any means, but he is a capable shooter. And I think that is something where, again, for an Arkansas team that so far, when you look at the percentages, like they're shooting 36%, which again, in the SEC, if you rank them against most teams, that's pretty good. What is it? You've had Thomas has hit 16, Acuff's hit 14, Wagner's hit 8, Knox has hit 7. So it's like they have a little more balance there, but don't be surprised if it needs to be a DJ Wagner game here for the Hawks. And because he's the leading steal guy, too. The defensive aspect, I think.
We're on the same page right now. We are on the same page right now. That's exactly what I was going to say. A veteran guy that can create some offense, maybe counter. Duke has a few more offensive rebounds. Well, DJ Wagner has a few more steals, rips and runs, easy offense in transition. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so we are probably going to have about an 8-point favorite, 8 or 9-point favorite for Duke. The last time these two teams met, Duke was a favorite, but that was a record-setting attendance in Bud Walton. Incredible atmosphere. Trayvon Brazile, double-double. Khalif Battle, 20 points. And Arkansas takes down number 7 Duke at the time. Quick little nugget here. John Calipari is 1-4 in his career against Duke. That one win in the United Center in Chicago. There's something in the air in Chicago.
What year was that, by the way?
What year was it? And I'm not sure. It was with Kentucky. He was 0-1 against Duke with Memphis and 1-3 against Kentucky. All of those with Kentucky were the Champions Classic, and then that one win with the Cats in the United Center.
Okay, that was 2015.
2015. Yep. So yeah, because Atlanta was 2012, Chicago 2015. Yep. So maybe 10 years later, there is a little anniversary of Calipari getting a win in the United Center. But I'm gonna go Duke. Guys, they're like a 9-point favorite. But I'll be here for the upset if it happens.
Music to Arkansas fans' ears right here. Are you telling me a little Thanksgiving KOD we're going to put out there into the universe? Because I'm going to pick Duke too. Is that the Thanksgiving gift? Maybe an early Christmas present for Arkansas fans. right there, given our track record. So yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I'm really excited to see how the Hogs kind of approach this game. Just like I said, I really want to. I have full confidence in the freshmen because I think they will step up in big games like this. And like I think they'll learn from some of those kind of again rough stretches down the stretch against Michigan State. But like you said, I mean Duke's a 8 or 9 point favorite. I mean we're not exactly going out on a limb, but the Hogs like that because they've been big underdogs before in these type settings, and they've came out and said, let's just play some basketball and we'll take care of business. But all right, should be a great game. You guys let us know your predictions, of course, in the comments. As always, before we head out, the Yearly Company, don't forget, Nashville-based fine jewelry, solid 14-karat gold, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Get those custom bangles over there. You got to know the size, though. Use the sizing kit. It's free. 100% off at checkout if you use our code SC16KIT, SC16KIT, over the Yearly Company. And go get your phone cases and accessories at ROKFORM, ROKFORM.com. The world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock, secure mounting. Great stuff over at our friends at ROKFORM. Use the code SEC25, SEC25 for 25% off over at ROKFORM. All right, you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Leave your score predictions in the comments below. Depending on how this game goes, one or both of us may do a little reaction Thanksgiving night. We'll see how it plays out. But again, you guys have a fun Thanksgiving. Enjoy your basketball. Enjoy your food. And we'll talk to you soon here at Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.